everyone, welcome. This is a cooling and grounding practice designed to help balance out the element of heat or of fire, which is very dominant in the summer months. When we have an excess of that element of fire or of heat in any of our systems, we can really easily feel overreactive or angry or agitated. So these postures are more cooling postures, and we'll take our time as we go through this flow so that we're not building any excessive heat that we don't need. Now, ironically, I'm filming this on a very cold and rainy day, so this practice can be taken at any time of the year if you are experiencing or feeling that imbalance or an excess in that element of fire, of heat. Let's begin. Find a tall seat. Sitting cross-legged or sitting in any other position that is comfortable and natural for you. You can allow your eyes to close. Relax the muscles in your face. And we'll start with a 3-part breath. Now you're welcome to use your hands here if you want, just to help physically feel your breath filling up. So if you are going to use your hands, take one hand down to your low belly, below your navel. And as you breathe in, nice and slow, feel just your low belly expanding, like you're filling up the bottom of a container. Then you can move your hand up above your navel and feel just the middle part of your torso filling up with breath. And then move your hand up onto your sternum and feel your breath filling up into your rib cage, filling up right up to the top of that container. And then your exhale is a nice slow stream of breath right back down to the bottom. So we'll take that a few more times. Breathing in, feeling just your low belly filling up. Then the middle of your torso filling up. Then your rib cage filling and expanding. And then that sweet, cool breath emptying right back down to the bottom. Take one more round. Breathing into the bottom, into the middle, and filling up to the top, feeling that receiving of your breath. Exhale all the way back down to empty. Now one big clearing breath. Take your inhale through your nose and your exhale out through your mouth. Open your eyes. Let's shift through to hands and knees. Pull your hips back to your heels in child's pose and have your knees a little bit wider than hip width apart. Release your upper body, your forehead down to the ground. Maybe take a little rock from side to soften. And now peeking forwards towards your hands, spread out your hands so they're shoulder width apart. And we'll pull up nice and slow off of the ground, letting your spine round. Pull your hips forward so your hips are sinking towards the front of your mat. And then gather your shoulders back into sort of this combination of a cobra or upward facing dog mixed together. And now from here, pulling from your tailbone, as if you've got a string attached to your tailbone, pull all the way back to child's pose. So breathing in, rising up, letting your hips sink forwards, hugging your shoulders back. And then breathing out from your tailbone, pull all the way back to your heels. So this nice wave or ripple of your breath, just slowly easing into your body, your joints, your muscles. Take it a few more rounds. Breathing in, that soft receiving of your breath. And breathing out, pulling hips back to heels. Now rising up onto hands and knees, let's tuck our toes and find downward facing dog. You may want to separate your feet just slightly wider than hip width apart. So it's a tiny bit of a wider legged downward dog. And if a little sway of your hips from side to side there feels good, then go ahead and bring in that watery quality, that nice soothing, cooling, fluid quality of both movement and breath. Now we'll take our right leg and sweep it up towards the ceiling. So right leg sweeps high. Breathe in a steady, slow breath. And then step right foot forwards between your hands. And we'll lower the back knee down to the ground. Take both hands to the inside of your right foot. And then either walk your hands over towards that top left corner of your mat, or even release down onto your forearms. You can let your head just drop down, and you may want to let your right knee sort of swing out towards that right side. And we'll pause here. So breathing in, receiving your breath, a nice cooling, soothing breath, and breathing out to soften in, to release. Let's walk back up onto our hands. Shift back to three-legged dog, sending your right leg high again. Now bend your right knee and stack your right hip open on top of the left. Pause here to take a breath in and a breath out. Again, inhale. And then exhale, pull your right shin forwards. We're coming into pigeon pose right away. So getting right down into the hips. Come onto your fingertips, back toes tucked so that you can help sort of ease yourself towards the ground with your hips there. Now inhale, stay on your fingertips and gather your shoulders back. Take a little puff up through your chest. And then exhale like a fingertip push up, melt down, ripple down towards the ground. Let's do that 2 more times. Breathing in, rising up. And breathing out. Take that nice sweet ripple down towards the ground. Once more. Inhale, rising up. And exhale to soften down. Coming back up onto your hands, so planting palms of the hands flat. Step back to downward facing dog. Pull forwards towards plank pose, top of your push-up. Now coming to 8 pointed pose, we'll lower our knees to the mat. Bend your elbows and lower your chin and your chest to the mat. So your hips and your tailbone stay pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Now slither out onto your belly. Inhale for a cobra. Hug your shoulders back. And exhale, draw back through hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Pause in downward dog. Take a breath. Take 1 slow round of breath. Now when you're ready, send the left leg up to the ceiling. 3-legged dog. And remembering we're not in any rush here, so just pause and take your time. When you're ready, we'll step left foot forwards. Lower your back knee to the ground. And then take both hands to the inside of your left foot. Walking hands up towards that top right corner of your mat, or maybe lowering down onto your forearms. And then you can allow left knee to kind of swing out to the left side. Let your head just dangle down if you'd like. I always like to take a little tiny rock of my hips in these shapes to kind of get into the corners and the edges. So go ahead and move around a little bit within the shape if that feels good. Nice deep breaths. Receiving that cooling inhale, releasing the exhales. Walk back up onto your hands. 3-legged dog again. Send and sweep your left leg back. Bend your left knee and stack the left hip open on top of the right. And then just pause there. Breathe in a nice deep breath. Breathe out. Again, inhale. And exhale, pull that left knee, that left shin forwards for pigeon pose, pigeon stretch on the other side. Take that little scooch of your right foot, your back foot behind you to lower your hips towards the mat. Come on up to your fingertips. And then with that big breath in, gather your shoulders back and take a little lift of the sternum, the chest up to the ceiling. Exhale like you're pouring out your breath. You're pouring out water from a container. Ripple down towards the ground. And we'll do 2 more. Breathing in, rippling up through your spine, and breathing out, pouring down towards the ground. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Come back up, hands plant to the ground. We're stepping to downward dog. Move forwards to your plank pose. And again, 8-pointed pose, knees to the ground. Elbows bend as you lower just your chest and your chin to the mat. You're kind of hugging your shoulders back. And then slide out, slither out onto your belly. Breathe in for Cobra, Bhujangasana. Hug your shoulders back. Exhale, drag back through hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Again, pause for a breath. Maybe a sigh. And then start to walk your feet up to the top of your mat. So taking your time, you don't have to get all the way forwards in one step. Just take a nice little journey up to the top of your mat. Placing your feet just a tiny bit wider than hip width apart. And then inhale for half lift, fingertips to the ground or to your shins as you extend long through the spine. Exhale, release your head. Now rising to stand with your breath in, sweeping your arms wide and high, gathering hands to center of chest and exhale. Arms rise, breathe in. Forward fold and breathe out. Now halfway lift, inhale. We're going to start with the left leg for these sun salutations. So step the left foot back and lower your knee to the ground. Inhale, take your arms up to crescent lunge. Nice and easy, nice and soft. Downward facing dog. Remember, no rush. Take your time in any of these moments, any of these postures. Come forwards to plank pose. Breathe in. Now I encourage you to bring your knees to the ground for supported plank, if you would like, if you can. And exhale just down through your belly, all the way down through chaturanga. Hands interlace behind your pelvis. Extend your legs long. Inhale, lift up your chest, lift up your legs for locust pose. And then exhale to soften back down. We'll do that 2 more times. Breathe in, lengthen and lift. And breathe out to soften to the ground. You've got 1 more ripple, 1 more flow on your inhale up into locust pose and exhale to come on down. Place your hands by your low ribs and tuck your toes. Breathe in. And then exhale, slowly press up to high plank. Stay there to inhale. Downward dog with your exhale. Left leg sweeps high to the ceiling, breathing in, 3-legged dog. Left foot steps forwards between your hands. Lower the back knee on exhale. To crescent lunge. Breathe in, nice big sweep open of arms and chest. And step to forward fold, top of the mat. Exhale. Halfway lift, extending the spine. Maybe sigh it out. On your exhale, returning to forward folds. Come to stand. Breathe in, sweeping arms wide and high. Catching hands to center of chest. Exhale. Again on the other side, arms rise with your breath in. Exhale to fold forwards. Half lift, inhale breath. Now we're stepping the right foot back, lowering the knee on your exhale. Sweep up to your crescent lunge as you take that nice, deep, soothing inhale breath to downward dog with your exhale. Ripple forwards to your plank pose. Supported plank, again, encourage just to keep some of the heat down, to not build too much excessive heat. Lowering to your belly through chaturanga on exhale breath. Hands interlace behind your pelvis, extend the legs. Same thing, inhale to lengthen and lift up through your chest, your shoulders, your legs. Exhale to soften down. 2 more rounds. Breathing in, Shalabhasana, locust pose. Exhale, lower to the floor. Filling up your lungs, filling up your whole torso, lifting up and softening down with your exhale. Release your hands by your lower ribs and tuck your toes. Let's breathe in. Slowly pressing up to high plank as you exhale. Now pausing to inhale. Back to downward dog, exhale. Right leg rises up to the ceiling. Breathe in. Step right foot forwards between hands and breathe out. Back knee softens down. Take that sweep, that rise to crescent lunge. Inhale, breath. Forward fold, top of your mat. Exhale, breath. Halfway lift, breathe in. Maybe a big sigh. Forward fold, exhale. Take it up to stand with your inhale breath. Hands settle to center of chest and exhale. Now we'll stand on our right foot and pull our left foot up into tree pose. And that can mean even just to your inner ankle for a little more stability, or your inner calf. If you are going to pull your foot up to your inner thigh, just make sure it's above the knee joint. We don't want our foot on the knee joint. Rest your hands softly together, or even just your fingertips together, the center of your chest. Find a really clear point out in front of you to look at, but keep your eyes relaxed. Keep your focus calm and easy. See if for one breath you can feel that same 3-part breath of filling your low belly, your mid-torso, and then your rib cage before you sweetly exhale. Now let's release our left hand to either catch your left knee, so you can squeeze your left knee in. I'll turn a little bit with your left hand, or catch the toe lock, so peace fingers can grab left big toe. Either squeezing that knee in towards armpit, or extending your left leg out on the diagonal. And then send your right arm out in a nice V as well. Relax your shoulders. Breathe slow and calm. Slow and steady. One more round of breath. Keeping that same nice calm focus through your gaze, through your eyes. Now we'll take that left knee, give it a little squeeze in towards the center of your chest with both hands. Inhale, stand tall. And then exhale, release your left foot down to the mat. Arms send skywards with your breath. Take forward fold as you breathe out. Halfway lift. Breathing in, extending the spine. Step your left foot all the way back into a warrior 2 stance. So left toes turned out to that left side of your mat. Nice big sweep, big cartwheel of your arms open and wide. Settle your shoulders and relax through your jaw, relax through your face. With your next breath in, let's sweep the arms up towards the ceiling. You can extend your front leg, an option to flex those front toes up towards the ceiling. And then exhale, sweep your arms back wide into warrior two as you rebend your front thigh. 2 more rounds. Inhale, arms sweep high, extending front leg. Exhale, sinking, settling, and softening into that nice grounded warrior shape. Inhale to rise, last time. And exhale, warrior two. Now turning your front palm skywards, take it back to reverse, to exalted warrior. And then flow forwards to triangle pose. So we're extending that front leg, and if you need to shorten your stance a little bit, just heel toe that back foot in a little bit. Sliding your rib cage out long over your front thigh, and then right fingertips, just softly find a little support on that right shin. Now we don't have to add anything fancy on here, no bells or whistles, just a nice steady calm breath, feeling that receiving of your inhale and the softening of your exhale. Keeping your face calm, your gaze steady, your breath even. Let's gaze down to the top of our mat. Left hand to left hip, bend your right knee, and we'll reach forwards for a half moon pose. So tenting your right fingertips underneath your right shoulder as you press the outer edge of your left foot skywards. Now staying here with hand on hip, or feel free to extend your left fingertips skywards. Those of you who feel comfortable with adding on, if you want to bend your left knee and catch the top of your left foot, catch your left ankle with your left hand for the thigh stretch variation, you're welcome to take it there, as long as you can still maintain nice steady calm breathing. As long as you can maintain that focus on that more cooling, fluid quality of breath and of movement. Now, if you did have that left foot in your left hand, release your left leg long. Let's rebend the right knee slightly and take your time. Take your time. Step your left foot back and return to triangle pose. Sort of open up and expand into that triangle shape again. Now inhale, rise back up, stand tall, parallel your feet. So you've got all 10 toes pointing to that long side of your mat. Wide-legged forward fold, bow down, let your head hang. Now you may want to take a little sway from side to side here. That can feel really nice. Bobble out your head a little bit. And then we'll take our hands, our fingertips out in front of us, and walk your hands forwards as if you're coming into a downward facing dog, but you've got those really wide legs still. So crawling your hands forwards and finding that nice long extension of the line of your waist and of your spine. You can let your chest sink down towards the ground here. Breathing slow, steady. Taking your time, remembering there's no rush. We don't need to build up a whole lot of excessive heat through this practice. We're trying to cool our systems. Walking your hands back in. Take a little half lift onto fingertips. Heel toe your feet just a little bit more in towards each other. Heels turn in, toes turn out. Yogi squats. We're facing that long side of our mat and we're coming into our yogi squat. Now in yogi squat, we're going to take lion's breath, and our lion's breath is a great time, a great place to release very consciously any pent up tension, frustration, anger, anything that's been building inside. So you can really go for it here. You can really safely dump it all out. Let's take 2 of them. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale, stick out your tongue, scrunch your face, and make some noise. Once more, breathe in. Really go for it. Lion's breath. Good. And if you had a little laugh at yourself, all the better. From here, let's take our hands either out in front of us and just come into a nice little forward fold. Extend your legs and parallel your feet. Or opportunity to tip into crow pose. Snuggling your shins to the backs of your arms. And then lengthening forwards through your sternum, your heart, your gaze. Possibly finding a little lift of your feet. And then parachute your back. Dome your back to find just a little bit more lift, a little bit more lightness there. Nice, steady, cooling breath even here. And then take your time, separate your feet, try to place your feet about hip width apart and come on to that nice little soft forward fold. Crawl your hands up towards the top of your mat. Step back to downward facing dog. Plank pose with the breath in. Knees to the mat, elbows bend, 8-pointed pose, sinking your chest, your chin to the floor. Slide out, slither out for cobra on your inhale. Back through hands and knees, downward dog, exhale. Now either taking that nice slow walk of your feet up to the top of your mat, or if you wanted to take one little hop, one nice soft hop of your feet to the top, you can as well. With your next breath in, let's sweep the arms wide and high. And again, settle your hands to center of your chest. Standing on your left foot, and I'll turn slightly side here again. Tree pose, so your right foot can either prop just to your inner ankle or your inner calf, or above your knee joint. You can pull your heel right up into that inner thigh, inner groin. Palms softly touch, or even just fingertips, very gently touching center of the chest. Find that nice, clear, but calm focus with your eyes, your drishti. Check that your shoulders are easy. And focus in on that same 3-part breath. Slowly filling, receiving your breath. Low belly, mid-torso, rib cage, and then let the breath go. Now right hand releases either to catch your right knee, squeezing right knee in towards your right armpit, or take the Yogi toe lock, peace fingers to big toe. Extending the right leg out to the side on the diagonal if you'd like, sending your left arm out in that nice soft V as well. Shoulders are still easy. Breath is still calm. Cooling and grounded, even here. Taking your time, there's no rush to finish or to complete this or to go on. So let's slowly rebend the right knee and squeeze the right knee in towards the chest, the center of the chest with both hands, breathing in nice and easy, and then return your right foot down to the ground with your exhale. Take the arms high on your breath in, forward fold, side out if you'd like to. Halfway lift, inhale. Now stepping the right foot all the way back to warrior two shape on your exhale. Cartwheel the arms up and open, and then again, just release the shoulders nice and soft. Breathe in to sweep your arms high, extend your front leg, option again to flex those front toes skywards, and then exhale to sink, to flow, to pour yourself back down into that warrior two. You've got 2 more rounds of that. Inhale and exhale. Nice soft arms. Breathing in. Warrior two and breathing out. Exalted warrior, left arm sweeps up and back. And then rising through center to triangle pose. So extending your front leg, maybe shortening your stance slightly by crawling that right foot, your back foot in a little closer. Left fingertips can find that little landing spot on your left shin. Right arm softly extends skywards. Now just feel your breath here in this shape. Nice, filling up, receiving the inhale. Letting go of the exhale. Gaze down to the top of your mat. Right hand to right hip, bend the left knee. Stepping to half moon pose. Left fingertips underneath your left shoulder. Take your time, pressing the outside edge of your right foot skyward. So a really firm press of the right foot up towards the ceiling. And staying there and doing your best to stack the right shoulder and the right hip on top of the left. Again, option to bend the right knee and catch the right foot, the right ankle with your right hand for the Chapasana or the thigh stretch variation. Again, as long as you can still maintain those soft, fluid inhales and exhales. Now, if you have that right foot in your right hand, let's extend that right leg long again. Bend into your left knee and really take your time through that transition to come right back to triangle pose. So rebuild that triangle shape. Now inhale, rise up, stand tall, parallel your feet, all 10 toes to that long right side of your mat. I'm going to turn sideways here. Wide-legged forward fold, dive on down. So again, maybe a little sway of your body here. If you feel so inclined to catch the outsides of your ankles softly just to help encourage that forward fold, you're welcome to. Relax your jaw, soften the muscles in your face. And then let's take the hands out in front of us and come back into that really wide-legged downward dog. So walking your hands forwards like you are in downward dog, but you just got that wide stance of your legs. And then let your chest sink towards the ground. Feel that nice elongated spine. Maybe a big sigh if that feels good. And then walk your hands back in underneath you. Heel toe your feet towards each other just enough to again return to yogi squat. So heels turn slightly in, toes turn slightly out. Soften on down through your pelvis. We're going to take 2 more of those lion's breath. Again, this very conscious and safe place to unload any of that excess fire or heat or anger or resentment or frustration. 2 rounds. Go ahead and close your eyes. It helps to really get in there and not feel self-conscious. So here we go. Breathing in and go for it. Once more. Inhale. Give it all you've got. Exhale. Good. Now opening your eyes if you had them closed, either coming into a nice soft little forward fold, or we have crow pose again on offer. Hands out in front of you, knees can snuggle up, shins snuggle up onto the backs of your arms. Take that little tip forwards, pulling and extending the heart out in front of you. And then with a little lift of the belly, maybe your feet can float off the ground. So again here, see if you can dome up or parachute up through your back body in order to find that lift, that sense of flight. Breathing steady. Now Now slowly return your feet back into a wide stance. Release to forward fold. And now crawl your hands up to the top of your mat. Step it back to downward facing dog. Plank pose, breathe in. 8-pointed pose, breathing out. Slide out to your belly for cobra, inhale. This time back to child's pose on your exhale. Now stay in child's pose for one breath, and inhale, and a sighing exhale. Come through to your seat, and then we'll lie down onto our backs. Now if you do happen to have a yoga block, you can have it nearby. If you don't have one, no problem. I'll give you a different option. So lying down, let's place our feet just a touch wider than hip width apart. Draw your heels in close towards your sitting bones and arms down by your sides. Coming into bridge pose. So again, it's just a slightly wider stance of your feet than usual for our bridge pose. Breathe in. And then really pour out that exhale as you scoop and roll up through your pelvis and continue right on up your spine. Interlacing your hands underneath you if you choose, if you can, and taking a little walk of your arm bones underneath your chest. Pressing hip points nice and high, keeping your jaw and your neck relaxed. Maybe even closing your eyes. Take about 2 more rounds of breath. Nice, slow breaths. Remembering there's no rush. There's no hurry. And then releasing your hands and curling your way, scooping your way back down your spine, just as you did when you came up. Once your pelvis finds the ground, just pause. Now for our second round of bridge, if you do have a block, we'll take a supported bridge pose. And if you don't have a block, you could either just stack a couple pillows underneath your pelvis or just skip it all together and come back into that same bridge pose that we just did. So I will show you with a block. We'll roll up through the hips, just enough to slide the block, and I would say either on the lowest height or the middle height, so you still have a little bit of nice secure structure to hold your pelvis there. Make sure you've got the back of the pelvis fully resting on the block, fully supported, and then you can stay right here. Just breathing. Nice, calm, cooling, fluid breaths. So if you've got that block, you can stick with that. If you don't have a block, again, a couple pillows, or just returning to that same bridge pose that we did on our first round. Those of you who are able to access it, you could even take your supported bridge with your hands underneath your pelvis. So your thumbs are pointing inwards towards your spine and your fingers are wrapping around towards the outsides of your waist. Okay, wherever you are, take a big, big breath in. And then release your hands or the block or the pillows, or uninterlace your hands if that's what you were working with. And again, just roll on back down your spine. Big breath and a big calming sigh. Now we've got one more back bend to come into. So I'm going to offer wheel pose. Now if wheel pose is not accessible to you, then again, return yourself back to that same bridge pose, either supported bridge or with the hands interlaced underneath you. Let's keep that slightly wider stance of our feet. I will speak to wheel pose, but you can come into that bridge again if you'd like to. So inhale, breath. And exhale, rolling up through your hips. If you're coming towards wheel, come up onto the crown of your head first. And then gather and hug your shoulders onto the back of your chest. Now with a soft breath, you can start to lengthen your arms, and they might not stretch all the way, that's fine. Try to move into this big, deep, expansive shape with that same fluid, soft, cooling breath. Without a sense of forcing yourself, but more of a sense of allowing yourself to move into that deeper heart opener, that deeper back bend. Now one last deep, deep breath wherever you are, and then return slowly back down. If you're coming out of full wheel, come to the back of your head first and then roll down through the rest of your spine. Once your pelvis finds the ground, let's take our hands, palms face down underneath our pelvis. And then send your legs straight up towards the ceiling. You can let your knees softly bend, just unlock the knees. Relax the ankles, the toes. Maybe close your eyes. Feel your inhale, feel your exhale. Maybe even return to the same 3-part inhale breath, feeling the nice slow receiving of air to your low belly, to the middle of your torso, filling up your rib cage, and then sweetly exhaling. Let's rebend the knees and just allow your feet to find the ground. Release your hands from underneath your pelvis. And then let's take happy baby pose. So you can either just hold on to your knees, hold on to your shins, and kind of open your knees out towards your armpits slightly, or you can catch the outside edges of your feet and point the soles of your feet straight up towards the ceiling. Again, soft and heavy through the back of your throat and your neck. Relax through your shoulders. Often a tiny little rock from side to side here feels really nice. A little release or massage through the back of your pelvis and through your low spine, your low back area after those back bends. One big sigh wherever you are. Inhale through nose and exhale through your mouth. Release your feet. Little hug of your knees in towards your chest. And then either rock up and down through your spine, if that feels okay, or roll to one side and then use your hands to help you come on up to your seat. So returning to our seated position here. Resting your hands on your lap, on your thighs. Closing your eyes. Now we'll take a cooling breath to finish, to close. So our inhale, try to feel or imagine your breath coming in through your left nostril. You don't have to do anything with your hands, just try to feel this energetically. So inhale comes in through your left nostril. And exhale releases through your right nostril. So breathing in left nostril, inhaling that nice cooling, nourishing breath. Exhaling right nostril, breathing out any excessive heat or resentment or anger or overreaction. And just continuing with that a few more rounds. Inhaling left nostril, cool and nourishing. Exhaling right nostril, returning any excess of heat back to the ground, back to the earth. Take one more round of that with your own timing, your own breath. Release your hands from your lap. Take the palms of your hands together. And take a gentle little fold forwards over top of your legs, of your crossed legs. Bowing down towards the ground. Sealing in that practice. Sealing in that intention and your effort, and then slowly returning back up to a tall spine. Namaste. Thank you for practicing.